Hello, everybody, and welcome back to One Hub Racing. We are here for another late night talk show of season 13, and lots to talk about this week as we completed round 6 of our 8 calendar season 13 in Germany. We were in store for some entertaining races across all of the tiers, so looking forward to discussing this. Alongside me for the talk show tonight is our newly crowned race winner, Jamie.
Yes, hello everybody. Feels
And
good.
Jamie, did you get any calls from your neighbours about that race winning scream on Friday night?
No. No, I think they're all out, luckily. They're all out, so I didn't really look enough only. I live in a semi-terrace and only one house next door. I think they're all out, so I think I was all right in that state.
That's
Yeah.
good. Let's talk about that just for a moment. Did you at any point think that you'd be able to win that race, or was it not until right at the end that you realised obviously that what was about to happen?
Well, no, for safety car, I had absolutely zero chance of winning the race. The safety car came out, I was thinking, yeah, I can get a podium here, and I pitted again 'cause I was on ultras, but pitted again because I felt like I wanted fresh tyres for the last few laps because I was like I attack a little bit. So if I stayed out on them tyres, they'd have gone the final lap. So I did that and lost a couple of places, but I soon gained them. During the race, I was radioing people, like in the radio, asking about penalties. I knew a lot of people had penalties around me, but I wasn't sure if everyone else did. So I just thought, stick in there, don't do anything stupid, and I should, get a good result. And of course, line first, I was like, what the hell was going on here? I was thinking like second, I was thinking I'd get second place, which would have been an excellent result. But the win, well, that's just amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining race, as you can probably imagine from a commentator's perspective on Friday. We kind of knew that you'd be in with a shot, but we didn't obviously realize that it was definitely going to happen. But yeah, it was fantastic to see you take your race win, and you have to say everything that you wanted to achieve, perhaps in league racing with one up, is done.
Yeah, well, it's just because it's title now, which I think should get secured this next week. So and then that'll be everything. I'll have a pretty decent career. Kind of the season with not much really, and I'm going to end it with quite a decent stats, which is pretty good.
It definitely is. We'll talk about the constructors in a moment as well. But onto the podium tier, which is obviously the tier you race in, Jamie. A couple of drivers moved down. I remember you commenting earlier in the rig that it was definitely the right time to be retiring, but you showed them who's boss on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just see my pace slipping away a little bit, and I thought maybe that was my last chance, and maybe it was just sort of fate it happened. But yeah, them new guys looked quite quick, but obviously they didn't have the races they wanted. Though I think they got involved in incidents. I think they might give Josh a bit of room for his money at the front there, but you have to say Ivan. I think he was going to win that race. He's going to dominate. He was dominant that race while safety car came out. So I do feel for him, and he should take good pride of his drive there. I think he drove really well, and maybe he can have his chance next week.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he started on pole position, kind of just dominated the race, as you said, Jamie. And then when that late safety car came out, which came out on lap 30 out of 34, so there wasn't really much time for racing when it
Yeah.
did come back in. But as he came into the pits, he actually overtook the safety car, and I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
what disqualified him. So
Yeah,
very
I had that
unfortunate.
practice around you. I can't think of an incident that was caused just coming out the stadium section. I think it was the two Hasses and the Force India they collided, and that's what caused the safety car. And yeah, I was a bit. I was a bit gutted when it came out because I was catching them guys. I think I was going to pass them all. I guess when the safety car came out, I
Yeah,
guess it wasn't all bad in the end.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
incident with D-Boy Dan, Papulu, and Zach Jarvis in the steward's office already. They collided last week down the straight
It's Spa now.
in Spa, didn't they?
Kind of.
So the same three drivers, and this time obviously D-Boy Dan ended his race. What do you make about drivers who are kind of getting tangled up week after week?
Well, I think they've got a magnetic force field about them. I think they just seem to be. They're all quite even match of pace. You see them qualifying; they're all pretty close. So I'm guessing they're just it's a bit unlucky, really. Yeah. I think D-Boy Danny's shown really good pace this season. He's improved a lot, and he hasn't really shown the race results yet. But I think for next season, he's a guy to look out for. I think he could be a contender. Even the last two races, while he can contend for the podium, and hopefully he can have a cleaner race next week. As we see with Zach in China, these three guys have all got potential, and we just want to see him have a good race for the end of the season.
Definitely 2 races to go of season 13, Austria next week, and then we finish off in Silverstone the week after. So back to podium tier, Ivan took the pole position. Only just, Jamie, it was 3 drivers within 10th of a second for pole. Josh was beaten on Friday night. Scani was in 3rd. D-Boy Dan, as you mentioned, showing some impressive form recently in 4th position, and Ian, the other title contender, in 5th. And as the race went on, Ivan kind of got ahead of things and broke away. And then you had those drivers who were yourself and Aaron, who were on that alternate strategy. And myself and Sean in the commentary box were trying to work out roughly where you guys would be fighting for towards the end of the race. Obviously, that late safety car came out. What position
Yeah,
do you think you would have been able to
I'd,
get to?
I'd have got. Sorry, yeah,
That's
I'd
all
have
right.
got fifth. I'd got fifth because I was catching him. I'd have got fifth, I think, because I was catching him guys. Plus, I had the penalties. I know D-Boy Dan had like 18-second worth of penalties, so he'd have dropped way down. So I would have got fifth, but I would have passed them all on track, I think, because I was catching them a lot, and they're on really dead tyres. I mean, I think maybe if I did that again, I would have done the ultras in the middle. Cause I think that second stint didn't work out for me that well. So I lost a lot of time to Aaron, but Aaron, he had a good race, and he was very unlucky with what happened to him out on the safety car restart. I think that was pretty unfortunate what happened to him there.
Yeah, definitely. He was obviously, when you're a leader and a safety car comes out that late, you're almost disadvantaged even more in the sense that whatever you do on tire strategy, chances are the guy behind um, is going to do the opposite. So, Ivan wasn't really sure. He didn't pit when the safety car first came out, and then he decided to do it the next time around. But all of his rivals behind him, of course, they were gonna pit. When they saw him stay out. So, unfortunate for him, as we already touched on. But Aaron, obviously, with that reverse strategy, was leading the safety car restart. With Ian and Josh and Parker behind, Liam in 5th. Those two come together. Jamie, did you catch anything from that? You were just behind.
Um, I saw the restart. I think Josh. I think at the first corner, I think Josh hit the rear of Aaron and sort of unsettled Aaron and made him run wide and get a penalty. And yeah, and also the Liam and Parkinson are sort of like I was right behind them too, and they were scrapping like crazy. And I don't, they were both on soft, like reload softs. I didn't want to be stuck behind them, so I thought I didn't want to take too many risks. But I thought I've got to get by here because I'll just lose so much time if I'm stuck behind them. So I sent it down the inside, maybe a bit aggressive, but I had to go for it. And I think Liam was on the outside of the three, and I think Liam and Parker just collided, and it's a shame because Parker he recovered really well from a bad start, and he could have been up there. I'm not sure how many penalties he had, but he could in that top three. I think. Well, I mean, everybody in that race could have been top three. That was at the end there, so it was wide open at the end, and it was actually nice to be fighting people, but not I don't normally fight with because obviously because of the tyres. And yeah, I think Papudu, he came out of nowhere to get second place. Didn't know how that happened. He was at the back, I think, and he got second. So to show you never give up. I think Alls was one and third. They both had incidents, and they've got the podium as well. So anything can happen this game.
Yeah, definitely. You touched on that incident with Aaron at the restart. One thing I wanted to point out was he looked slightly uncomfortable when it came to the safety car restart, and he didn't actually back the pack up enough, which is why when he was trying to floor it out the last corner, the game was holding him back because he hadn't actually allowed enough of a gap to the safety car, which meant he was on rev limiters, and the guys behind obviously were perhaps able to get on the power slightly
Oh,
earlier. But as you said, Papulu coming out of nowhere to take second behind you, and just shows you penalties around this track can really play into effect. Alls had that incident on the first lap. I believe he pitted at the end of lap one, and was fighting for 10th and 11th place, and came back to finish in third. So it just shows you, as you mentioned, Jamie, you should never give up.
no, exactly. And yeah, and I think obviously the two champion contenders, they finished way down. I think sixth and seventh. So that's not what they. That's it's not bad for Josh, but I think Ian was a missed opportunity for him there. Josh Duggan, I think
Yeah,
if
definitely.
you
Josh
finish,
didn't really seem to have the same dominant pace that he had the last couple of races.
no, and obviously I think Gaza is out of it now. Sadly, he's just struggled. I think he struggled with the balance of the car, and I think he binned it. So I think it's a two-way scrap now, and I'm not. And I think Josh, he'd be like, how many points ahead will he be now? I'd be like, is it? I can't work it out at the moment.
So he gained 2 more points on Ian, who I believe sitting in second in the standings. Yes, he is. So he will now be 13 points ahead with 50 remaining. So it's looking promising for the Ferrari man.
Yeah,
Aaron coming home in fourth, that penalty late on the safety car restart costing him. I know that's in the steward's office. Liam finishing in fifth after the incident with Parker. Josh in sixth. Ian in seventh. In eighth place, Zach Jarvis. Ninth was Parker. And then 10th place was Scanny. So well done to all those in the podium tier for putting on a fantastic race. Onto the precision. And this one looked very messy, Jamie, right from the get-go.
yeah, yeah. It was this tier. It was in this tier a lot this season. It's probably the most instant involved tier. Obviously, this is probably the most competitive tier in terms of. It's probably the closest tier in terms of pace of all the drivers. So you do get a lot of really tight scraps, and we have seen the best of driving this tier, and sometimes a bit the worst of driving. I think Friday night it was just a bit of a chaotic race, as you can see by the results. The guys in the back of the grid getting like good, strong results because the guys at the front, they all just all sort of, apart from Chris, they all got involved in incidents.
Yeah, I did some practice with Chris earlier in the week, and he was looking really quick, and obviously got pole position, went on to take the win, had that 5 second stop go for speeding in the pits to deal with on his first stop. He got that, and then later in the race, another late safety car came out for
Yeah,
these guys. So it always spices things up when that happens. Drivers coming into pit, but Westy looks slightly off form again in Germany. Started in fifth position, failed to finish the race after getting stuck in the pits. That happened to Nick LJ Thompson, who was in second at the
yeah,
time. Bitterly
obviously.
disappointing for both of those guys.
Yeah, obviously West Steve is wanting to really rubber stamp the title on Friday with White Fountain having a really bad race. He could have done that, but obviously didn't happen for him. But I mean, he's still got a comfortable lead in the championship, so he will be disappointed, I guess. But he can still secure it in Austria if he beats White Fountain. So I think maybe, I think maybe he's still in a good position, but obviously I think. And also, I felt sorry for Nick because I think Nick's done a really strong season. Had a really good race in Belgium, and he's got really good potential. And obviously, he could have been up at the front without that. He could have given Chris a bit of a race, I think. So, yeah, so Chris past two races, he's kept it a lot cleaner. I have to say, there's a few words directed towards him, but the past two races have been good for him, and that can be good confidence for next season.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about teammates. Red Bull had the chance to win the constructors championship. Obviously, you won. You did your part in the podium tier. Gaza obviously retired, and then straight away on the exit of turn three, Scorpion retired, went straight into his teammate who had a moment. I haven't. You can actually see it on the stream, so I'm waiting to see
Yeah.
their point of views of the incident. But how disappointed do you think they'll be to obviously not only not seal the constructors, but have a disappointing result? It's never good when two teammates make contact, particularly on the first lap.
No, I think Scorpion was very upset because he could have, like I say, in that sort of a race where he thrives on race with a bit of carnage, he could have got maybe even the win. But yeah, I think Right Fountain, he'd be the more disappointed because of using the fight for the Drivers' Championship and with Westy having these issues, he could have really closed the gap right up to almost a couple of points if he won that race. But obviously, it wasn't to be, and he trailed on in ninth place, and really he needs a miracle now to win the title. I think, especially should secure it where he's at. I think so. Yeah, I think White Fountain is not very happy, but it's been a good season for him, and at least he's going to win the constructors. Like they say, the Red Bull didn't have Red Bull had a mixed week. Obviously, they won 3 races, but had quite a few DNFs and did not starts. So it was a bit of a mixed bag for Red Bull, but still not a bad weekend. I think still up at the top in terms of points gained, but yeah, we didn't quite get the delta we needed. So it's pretty apt though. We'll probably win it at the home race in Austria, so that's pretty apt, I think.
Yeah, so taking advantage of all the Lat 1 carnage, as I think you mentioned, Jamie, this tier is just so close, so evenly matched, that these drivers obviously all the way through the race, they're just fighting each other. And you could be fighting a guy who's in 12th, 13th position in qualifying. He has the pace to win the race. So, everyone wanting to move forward in the race. And obviously, early on, a few DNFs. Westy stuck in the pits, as you mentioned. Nick stuck in the pits, so very disappointing for them both. But as we went on through the race, Chris took the win. No problem for him. He had the pace and was able to hold off the challenge of Jorrit into turn one. They make contact off the line, so that was a scary moment. Pete got disqualified, Jamie, for blocking the pit lane in qualifying. But then went on to move from 19th on the grid all the way up to second. What do you make of his performance? One that was,
Oh,
perhaps deserved and coming?
yeah, well, obviously Pete has a messy season, obviously, but he hasn't had the best of seasons. But I have to say that'll give him incredible confidence. Doing that for the back of the grid to finish second, and I know he was pushing Chris at the end. I know he had the extra penalties, but he could have won that race on track. Obviously, he would have lost it on the penalties, but I say Pete, I think I'll take him in more pride from that. And see Williams, they had a bad week in Belgium, but they've had a better week this weekend, and I think Pete maybe fancies a win in Austria. Maybe if he keeps that up, maybe qualifies a bit higher. He definitely has got the pace to win in this tier, as we saw there. We've seen in previous seasons, but I think it's the first time this season we've seen his true potential.
Um, Ashiana finishing in third position. Obviously, I think he got pole the week before, but then got damage in the race and it went downhill. But nevertheless, good podium result from him from 15th on the grid as well. So, as you said, Jamie, when there's all those incidents going on, it allows those drivers to start at the back to really take advantage, which is what he did. Jorrit won, obviously, I believe, the first race, didn't he? But we haven't really seen, that
No.
form consistent all throughout the championship so far. And you have to say, he perhaps will look back at this season as a missed opportunity.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, I mean, last season was in a title fight, but I think he was a bit outgunned by Dane Start. But I think this season he probably had more of a chance on pace. But I've seen he's just got involved in a few too many incidents, I think, and it just hasn't gone well for him. See, we got that win in Brazil. Everyone thought after that win in Brazil he's going to dominate, but it just hasn't happened for him. Like it's just been a bit of a mess. And again, just none of these drivers have really had a clean season. Just because of the way the tier is, you always get involved in incidents, and I think the guy who wins this is the guy who's going to get less involved in incidents, and I think that's after Westy. I think he's just, apart from last week, he's had a pretty clean run at it, and yeah, I think Jarrett, the White Fountain, them guys will be a bit disappointed. They didn't give him more of a run for his money.
Um, Speaking of running for money, Lukey winning it in qualifying, 18th, and ran it all the way forward to finish fifth in the end, ahead of Nika, the other Nick, Baboon J. Let's talk a little bit about him. Qualified
Yeah,
near the front, was battling for the podium positions early on. Jamie came back after last season. He did 2 races in the podium tier, then unfortunately was removed just to due to poor
He
driving and
wasn't
incidents.
ready. Wasn't ready
And
then.
he's
No.
come back a higher tier, and you have to say he had a pretty clean race.
Yeah, it's a shame at the final lap. I think he spun it, didn't he? Because he would have got a
Yeah,
really strong result there, and I think that cost him. But yeah, he was actually leading, wasn't he, behind the safety car? So yeah, he did show really good potential again. And I think these last two races for him, they'll be rubber stamping his own potential, and maybe get more footing in the league. And obviously next season it all restarts again of a full season. So I think a lot of these guys now that are out of championship, they'll be looking forward to new games, seeing how their pace is compared to the others. We might see a total reset of pace. So that's to look forward to in the next few weeks. So yeah, I think but BMJ, yeah, a solid race from him, but just a shame about the ending because he deserved a good result, I think.
I found him finishing in ninth, and Victor, 10 laps down, apparently, according to the timing screen, in 10th position. So White Fountain not able to take advantage of Westie's poor result. But yeah, he'll be disappointed with that, will White Fountain. But that's why the cookie crumbles, as they say. Onto the Pinnacle Tier. Jamie, a good turnout in attendance for this one, and obviously you
Yeah,
commentated on it. I took part in it, and even in those tricky intermediate qualifying conditions, it was so close. The tier was so close. I mean, if you look, 1.1 second covers 17 drivers, 9 tenths
yeah,
cover 16. Just crazy how close that grid is.
yeah. That's incredible, and obviously, so and you obviously had Schofield that took the pole. He didn't have a good couple of races. He sort of slipped out the championship lead, and people were wondering whether he could take the fight to Dartboard. Well, he gave his answer. He gave his answer this week for a totally dominant win and pole, and that was one of the best drives I've seen. And I feel, I feel unfortunate. I didn't nominate him for driver of the day, but I had to nominate James Slater because he's been around so long in this league, and that's his first podium. So sorry, Scott Fielder, but the emotions. I was so happy for James Slater, and Archie, he had a good race as well. Say him in fourth place. He had a few incidents recently, but yeah, a few guys that showed their potential this week in the wet.
Yeah, tricky conditions. Obviously, started on those full wet weather tires. Schofield had just went. It's like he was driving a boat. In these conditions, he was so comfortable. That battle for the podium, Jamie, you were focused on it almost the whole
Yeah.
stream because it was just every lap. They were chopping and changing, and obviously different conditions. So you've really got to have a bit of confidence in the car to be able to fight. And then there were a few incidents which cost the guys, and some of them moved forward. But as you mentioned, Archie having a good result in fourth position. I think he needed that coming into the league halfway through the season. Obviously, Kian had some good pace around here in the dry. I did some practice with him, but didn't feel as
Yeah.
comfortable in the wet
No.
conditions, so wasn't able to. But can't believe how dominant Scott Fielder was. 25 seconds almost ahead of Brumadinho in second. So it was a 1-2 for the One Hub Esports team, and James Slater, all around good guy, paddock favourite, finishing in third position. I wonder if he screamed anywhere near as loud as you, Jamie, when he got his first podium.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's been a long time coming. You obviously had that season. I think it was it season 10 where he finished fourth in the championship, but he didn't get a podium because he just because I think he got fourth so many times that season. So yeah, I'm really happy for him. And obviously Schofield there. Well, I think he's in a pretty good leading standings now because Dartbot he had a miserable race. So I caught his spin out in the Mercedes-Benz arena, and he got wind damage at the start, and he just wasn't Dartboat's day this week. It wasn't
Yeah, there'll be a
his day.
12-point lead Scott Fielder will walk into the last two rounds with. So it'll be it's I feel it's going to be the closest drivers' championship
Yeah,
of the four tiers. Those two drivers, really going to battle it out, for that one. But I think whoever wins it, Jamie, and you have to say the same with the podium and precision. Whoever does win it, definitely deserves it this season. There's been no
yeah,
drivers who have walked it. I mean, even look at Blizzard in the prestige tier. He's been kept honest. He hasn't ran away with
no,
it. So
no,
it's good to see that, and hopefully all championships go down to the the last race. Of course, we'll have to see. Back to the Pinnacle Tier though, Raikkonen finishing in 5th, ahead of Midnight. So all those guys battling hard for the podium all race long. Make sure you check out the race if you want to see those guys go toe to toe. Kian in 7th, myself in 8th, Darkbolt in 9th. We had a good battle actually. That was really fun. We almost went side by side for a whole sector there. So enjoyed that. Dane Star again picking up some incidents. He obviously had that contact with Malloy again. Those two are
Yeah.
like stuck to each other.
Yeah, yesterday Malloy's had a pretty. He's underachieved a lot this season for his pace. I even marked him at the start of the season a championship contender, where it just hasn't happened for him, has it? He just doesn't have a clean race. So it just, yeah.
So Malloy finishing in 12th, behind Jonas. Owen in 13th, failing to finish. Alright, on to the Prestige tier, and Jamie, this one, again, look at the qualifying, just ridiculous. 13 drivers separated by half a second. This tier is just incredibly close. A couple of new drivers joining for this last week's race as well in Germany. And Jake Tex took pole position just by the smallest of margins.
Yeah, beat Blizzard on the qualifying lap is pretty good because you know how rapid he is, and obviously Jay, he's won a race this season. He's had a strong season, I'd say, and yet again he had a strong qualifying and a decent race, as did Blizzard and Rafa. And obviously, a few guys again. There was a few instances in this tier, but obviously the top tier you tend to get the big egos come out, and you tend to see the incidents occur. And we saw that again today. But the top three, they had a really, really good, nice, clean battle, and that's what we like to see. And obviously Blizzard again, he's put a good lead in championship now. But Rafa is keeping him honest. It's not that there is. Can Rafa take the final race? That's what I'll be hoping for. And he'll be hoping to win in Austria.
Yeah, definitely. He's obviously going to push Blizzard all the way, and I think whatever happens, Rafa's going to be, proud of his season of achievements this season. To keep Blizzard that honest all the way through is not easy. Let's talk a little bit about as the race went on. Those three battled all the way through, and Jess and Luke in commentary absolutely loved it. Jay obviously crossed the line first, but dropped to third. So Blizzard takes yet another win. Louis was involved as well for a little bit. In 4th position, he finished. And Samu, one of the big talking points, had that incident with Sam, and then went on to be the first driver this season. Think how many, what have we done now? 6 races times by 4. What's that? 24 races, and no one failed to do the mandatory 2-stop rule, but Samu decided that he wanted to break that tradition.
No, and the funny thing is, he had a gap. He could have pitted on the final. He could have pitted on the penultimate lap. He had a gap anyway, so he could have. If he felt, no, I know he probably forgot straight away, but he had the gap. He could have pitted and still come out in 5th, and that's obviously 5th would have been a good result for him because he hasn't scored that many points this season. And well, he just that's just he's been part of the league for the whole season, so there's no excuses there. I'm afraid it's just brain fade, I think.
Brain failure, but so 10 points would have done him good, but he'll be obviously disqualified for that, so lucky to move up to 5th position, scoring 10 points. Jamie, a lot of drivers failing to finish in this prestige tier, and some poor attitudes as well, where you have a bit of incident or contact on the first lap. Look at Francis, and you just quit out. It's obviously disappointing for us as viewers. But do you just think what do you put that mindset down to?
Well, so these guys, they're at the top. They all believe they're the best, and they don't give any quarter. We've seen a few of these races in this tier. You do see when they do battle, you do see the skill out there of these guys, but I think you also see they might be a bit less willing to give room, and also when instances do get reported, you don't see it in the stewards, so they're a bit more blasé about it, I think. So, and obviously it's the end of the game cycle, so I think some drivers they're getting a bit frustrated. If that makes getting a bit frustrated, and I think they're wanting. It's not good to see anyway, but they're in the top 3. They deserved it in my view, and they really showed why they're the 3 best drivers this season.
Yeah, 100%. I think you summed it up perfectly. Those top three are, I believe, in the the races. The championship position is fully deserved, and I think they're almost clear above the rest of the drivers, Jamie, in terms of how they conduct themselves through the races. And I presume they'll all finish in the top three, and
Yeah,
fully deserved. But yeah, as you saw in the podium tier, Ols was how many seconds down after lap one after coming in, and he finished in third position. So look at Pete, disqualified in the precision tier from qualifying, and then goes on to take second. So those guys
yeah,
have the better mindset and the better attitude, you'd have to say. But as you said, it is the end of the game cycle, so we'll see what the future holds. And that, Jamie, is round 6 done and dusted now. On to Austria next week. 2 races to go of F1 2018. It's been obviously an eventful and successful time for the league, and F1 2019 just around the corner. Are you looking forward to its release? I presume you're still going to be getting it, Jamie, even though you won't be league racing.
I'll still be getting it. I'll just have more casual experience. I think. I just don't have the I think now's the right time to make quick league racing as a driver because I just literally I think I've done all I can, and I think my pace has dropped in every game, so I don't have the motivation to learn a game properly. So yeah, I mean, I'm still going to be involved in the league and stuff, but yeah, I think it's just not just take a seat, sit back, and just watch maybe drivers who are more motivated to drive have a go.
Awesome stuff. Alrighty, thank you everyone for watching. We will leave it there for tonight. Myself and Jamie are done for this evening, and we hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We just hit 300 on Friday, so thank you to everyone who already has. Of course, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and obviously sponsored as well, Jamie, by Next Level Racing.
Yep, 110 in the code if you buy any sim racing gear on there, and you'll get a nice discount on that, and it helps support the league. So if you're looking to buy a wheel or a gaming seat, check them out.
There we go. Well, thank you everyone. Good luck in Austria on Friday night, and then obviously the final round after that will take place in Silverstone on F1 2019 release day. So lots to be excited about in the Formula One esports and gaming community. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and good night.